Hello, my friend, it's Melvin Pillay. I want to talk to you today about a most exciting topic: how you can have a better than good day every day. I have found that the secret to having a better than good day is knowing how to respond to the day that you're going to have. What do I mean by this? Well, I have 6 trigger thoughts and words that I keep in my toolbox to use every single day of my life. If you've lived long enough, you'd know that in life, stuff happens. But when stuff happens to you once and you don't do something about it, then it's going to happen to you every other day and it is going to control you. So I have 6 things that I use, and I'm going to share these 6 things with you today. And I hope that you also have better than good days every single day of your life. The first thing I do is I prepare for the day a day before or the morning of the day. This is what I mean. I prepare. I know for a fact that the day is going to bring me just 2 categories of people or events: good events, good people; bad events, bad people. So I practice for bad news and for bad people. Let me give you an example. I know that as I'm driving on the road, there is going to be a jerk that cuts across or tries to do something silly on the road. I know I'm going to meet somebody in a customer service setting and they are going to be totally unprofessional. They're going to be irate. They're going to be grumpy. I know that's going to happen. So I prepare the day before or the morning my responses. And so when I encounter that individual, I'm not left surprised or emotional and upset because I've already practiced on how to talk to the person, how to deal with that jerk on the road well in advance. Practice is a beautiful thing. So you can practice the day before or the morning. Practice for the bad news, practice for the good news, practice for that bad person, practice for the good person. Practice. The second thing I do is I proclaim. I get up in the morning and I say, this day I am exempt from all harm and danger. I am exempt from crazy people and weird things happening. I am exempt from all the evil, the pain, and the strife and suffering. I make that proclamation. I open up the way to receive the good in the day. It's remarkable what happens, how few bad things happen in life. It makes you exempt. It's shocking what your brain does and what your spirit does when you make the proclamation. So proclaim over your day good stuff, and good stuff happens. It's not magic, it is absolute reality. This is how you are to live. The third thing that I do is another letter P. I pounce on the opportunities. The moment I see an opportunity, I go for it in dealing with people or events and circumstances. Practice, proclaim, and pounce on opportunities. Those are the first 3 triggers in my mind. The first 3 triggers. The second 3 triggers that I have in my mind are 3 thoughts that I have. Thought number 1: isn't that interesting? Well, most people, when stuff happens, they say, I am so disappointed. But I don't do that because that's a terrible word. Disappointment leads to discouragement and the other terrible things that happen in life. So I say to myself, instead of saying I am disappointed, I say, now, isn't that interesting? Something bad happens, a client cancels, a teammate that you really loved calls in and says, I'm leaving, going on. You usually would say, oh, I'm so disappointed, or that's so disappointing. No, change that to now, isn't that interesting? The second thing happens is that people often say, I'm so frustrated, or this is so frustrating. Well, I change that and I say to myself, now, isn't that fascinating? When something happens that I cannot control, instead of saying I'm frustrated, what I say is, isn't that fascinating? And the third trigger thought I have, instead of saying I'm overwhelmed and I don't know what to do, I simply say, I wonder what God is going to do. Three things that I think about things happen. I don't say I'm disappointed. I don't say I'm frustrated. I don't say I don't know what to do. Instead, I say, isn't that interesting? Isn't that fascinating? I wonder what God is going to do. Let me tell you a little story of what happened today to put this entire thing in context. Got up this morning and headed to the airport nice and early to catch my flight to come to the city to do a 2-day seminar and keep on trekking on. Got up, made my proclamations over the day, prepared for all the jerks and crazy people, and made my way to the airport. I came to the airport and standing in line, there comes a lady just from the back of us, me in the first class waiting area, and the lady comes across, takes her bags, pushes past us all, and stands right in front of us, waiting to go in. The people are looking at me. The gentleman next to me, obviously very upset by this, is kind of looking around. He makes eye contact with me, starts to chat with me, and he was upset. And I said to him, friend, this is what I would do, and this is what I would say, instead of saying what you're about to say. I said to him, I say, now, isn't that interesting? He started to laugh. And he's like, yes, I think I want to say that too. Instead of becoming upset, that's what he said. It changed his entire mood, and we laughed. Got into the flight, ready to go. And the pilot says, sorry, ladies and gentlemen, we have a mechanical issue, and there's going to be a delay in your flight for at least 90 minutes to 2 hours. Off the flight we came, and people are now upset, and people are disappointed, and people are grumbling. And so I walked out and said to myself, now, isn't that interesting? I just came out of a flight and I saw to my right my favorite barbecue joint, Salt Licks. Salt Licks. And I didn't have time to eat earlier. And now I had 90 minutes to enjoy my meal. So I ate my meal, got back to the boarding gate, just waiting for the 90 minutes. Checking my phone, for some reason, my phone app was not updating. So I'm tracking the flight. I can see the time is moving. And then all of a sudden I realized that my internet was not connected. And so I connected myself back to the internet, the Wi-Fi. And then I realized the app had refreshed. And my flight was leaving in 1 minute. One problem. It was 20 gates away. And if you know that feeling of about just missing your flight, you know how I was feeling. So I got myself together and made my way, thinking to myself, now, isn't this fascinating? Came to the gate and nobody is there. It took me about 7 minutes to reach that gate. So everything's gone. The gates are locked. The doors are shut. It's dead quiet. Thankfully, I saw a gentleman in the corner, an agent, just packing things up. And I said to him, "Excuse me, is this flight still here, still gone?" He said, "Oh no, the door is shut, everything is shut." And I looked at him and the thought came across my mind, I wonder what God is going to do. It so happened that very second, the person who operates the jet bridge for some strange reason just walked past. And he came to the guy and said, "I need to go through this door." And then the guy had to open the door. So he opened the door, and the agent said to me, "Sir, let's run. I can't get a hold of the plane. I think they removed the telephone connector. But if we can run, let's see if we can make it down the jet bridge." It was a long run. So we made our way to the front, and just as we came up there, the lady was just closing the door. And he shouted at us, "Stop! Don't close the door!" So I made it to my flight, just sat down and just laughed through thinking about preparing for the day, proclaiming over the day, pouncing on the opportunity with this gentleman to speak to him and try my sales techniques, thinking deeply about, isn't that interesting? Isn't that fascinating? And I wonder what God is going to do. Hey, my friend, consider that. If you do, it could change your entire life. Hey, this is your friend Melvin Pillai, just encouraging you today. And as always, never stop flying.